Did you know that seniors lose over $36 billion every year to financial scams that specifically target loneliness and isolation? Yet banks and financial institutions rarely warn their customers about these devastating traps. Today, I'm going to expose the exact 7 financial traps that predators use to systematically steal money from lonely seniors. Traps that banks know about but never discuss. And trap number 4. It's so cleverly designed that even financially savvy seniors fall for it because it specifically preys on your desire for human connection and financial security. Stay with me, because knowing these traps could save you thousands of dollars and protect your entire life savings. Last month, 79-year-old Helen from Phoenix lost $47,000 to a romance scammer who spent 6 months building what felt like a genuine relationship with her over the phone. She was intelligent and had always been careful with money, but the scammer exploited her loneliness after her husband's death. By the time her daughter discovered what was happening, Helen had already wired her life savings to someone she had never met. Financial Trap U1. Romance scams that build long-term relationships. Romance scammers specifically target lonely seniors and can systematically steal your entire life savings over months or years by creating elaborate fake relationships that feel completely real and emotionally fulfilling. These criminals are professional fraudsters who work in organized networks and use detailed psychological profiles to identify and exploit vulnerable seniors who are isolated, recently widowed, or craving companionship. The AARP Fraud Watch Network reports that romance scams targeting seniors have increased by 400% over the past 5 years, with average losses exceeding $15,000 per victim, and many victims lose their entire retirement savings before realizing they've been deceived. These scammers spend weeks or months building genuine-seeming relationships through phone calls, emails, letters, and text messages, sharing personal stories, expressing deep emotions, and creating intimate connections that fill emotional voids left by lost spouses or distant family members. They often claim to be traveling professionals, military personnel overseas, or business people in foreign countries, which explains why they can never meet in person, but provides compelling reasons for ongoing communication. The emotional manipulation is so sophisticated that victims often defend their partners, even when family members try to intervene, because the relationship provides genuine emotional comfort. Dr. Sarah Mitchell, a researcher with AARP's Fraud Prevention Division, explains that romance scammers deliberately target seniors who show signs of social isolation, financial resources, and emotional vulnerability, often finding victims through dating websites, social media platforms, or even church directories and obituaries. These criminals study their targets extensively before making contact, learning about interests, family situations, and financial circumstances so they can create compelling fake identities that seem perfectly compatible. The scammers gradually introduce money requests, starting with small amounts for supposed emergencies and escalating to larger sums for medical bills, travel expenses, or business investments. The protective solution is to never send money, gift cards, or personal financial information to anyone you have not met in person, regardless of how long you've been communicating or how much you care about them. If someone you've only communicated with remotely asks for money for any reason, end the relationship immediately, because legitimate romantic partners do not ask for financial assistance from people they've never met. Be especially suspicious of anyone who claims to be traveling, working overseas, or unable to meet because of work obligations, and never provide banking information or identification documents to online acquaintances. Gladys from Tampa, thought she had found true love with a businessman who contacted her through a church website, but after 6 months of daily calls and romantic letters, he asked for $5,000 for a business emergency. When she hesitated, he became angry and manipulative, which made her realize the entire relationship was designed to steal her money. Protect your heart and your wallet starting today by refusing to send money to anyone you haven't met face-to-face. Financial trap 2. Medicare and health insurance scams. Scammers pose as Medicare representatives or health insurance agents to steal your personal information and money, often targeting seniors who are confused about their benefits or worried about healthcare costs. These criminals call seniors claiming to represent Medicare, private insurance companies, or government agencies, offering free medical devices, updated insurance cards, or special benefits that require immediate action to claim. The Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services reports that Medicare fraud costs the program over $60 billion annually, with much of this fraud initiated through deceptive phone calls that trick seniors into providing personal information or paying for services they never receive. These scammers often have enough legitimate information about Medicare programs to sound credible, and they create urgency by claiming that benefits will be lost if you don't act immediately or that new regulations require updated information. They ask for your Medicare number, social security number, banking information, or credit card details, claiming they need this information to process new benefits, send medical devices, or update your account. Some scammers arrange for fake medical services or equipment deliveries that result in fraudulent Medicare billing, while others use your personal information for identity theft and financial fraud. Dr. Jennifer Chen, a healthcare fraud investigator with the Department of Health and Human Services, explains that legitimate Medicare representatives will never call you unsolicited to ask for personal information, offer free medical devices, or request payment over the phone. Medicare communicates with beneficiaries primarily through official mail, and any legitimate changes to your benefits will be documented in writing through official channels. The identity theft and financial fraud that result from these scams can devastate seniors' finances and credit ratings for years, often requiring extensive documentation and legal assistance to resolve. The protection solution is to never give your Medicare number, social security number, or personal information to anyone who contacts you unsolicited, whether by phone, email, or in person at your door. Hang up immediately on anyone claiming to represent Medicare who calls asking for personal information, and never pay for Medicare services or medical devices over the phone unless you initiated the contact with a verified provider. If you receive suspicious calls about Medicare, report them to Medicare's fraud hotline and regularly review your Medicare statements to identify any services or equipment you didn't receive. Harold from Denver received calls for weeks from someone claiming his Medicare benefits were about to expire unless he provided updated information. But when he called Medicare directly, he learned no such update was needed, and the calls were from scammers. Verify all Medicare contacts immediately by calling the official Medicare helpline yourself, rather than trusting unsolicited communications. Financial trap 3. Grandparent emergency scams. Criminals call seniors pretending to be their grandchildren in urgent need of money, exploiting your natural instinct to help family members during emergencies without taking time to verify the situation. These scammers often begin calls with phrases like, "Hi Grandma, it's your favorite grandchild," or "Hi Grandpa, you probably can't tell because I have a cold, but it's me," allowing you to fill in the name of which grandchild you think is calling. The Federal Trade Commission reports that grandparent scams have increased by 600% over the past decade, with seniors losing an average of $8,000 per incident. The fake emergencies are designed to create panic and prevent you from thinking clearly or taking time to verify the caller's identity through normal family channels. Common scenarios include claims that the grandchild has been arrested and needs bail money, was in a car accident and needs money for repairs or medical bills, is stranded while traveling and needs transportation money, or faces some other crisis requiring immediate financial assistance. The scammers often claim the situation is embarrassing or that parents cannot be contacted, explaining why the grandchild is calling grandparents directly and asking them not to tell other family members. Dr. Michael Torres, a consumer protection researcher with the Federal Trade Commission, explains that these scammers often gather information about their targets from social media, obituaries, school websites, and other public sources to make their calls seem more legitimate. They may know names of family members, details about recent family events, or information about where grandchildren live or work, which makes the calls seem genuine even to suspicious seniors. The scammers typically request that money be sent immediately through wire transfers, prepaid gift cards, or money transfer services, all of which are virtually impossible to recover once sent. The protective solution is to always verify emergency calls by hanging up and calling your grandchild directly on their known phone number, or by contacting other family members who can confirm whether an emergency actually exists. Never send money to anyone claiming to be a family member in an emergency without first speaking to that person directly and confirming their identity through questions only they would know the answers to. Establish a family password or code word that genuine family members can use to identify themselves during emergency calls, and teach all family members to use this code if they ever need emergency financial assistance. Esther from Oklahoma received a panicked call from someone claiming to be her grandson, who said he had been arrested after a car accident and needed $3,000 for bail immediately. She was about to wire the money when she decided to call her daughter first, who told her that her grandson was safe at home. Establish family verification codes today so you can protect yourself and your grandchildren from these emotional manipulation tactics. Financial Trap 4. Investment Scams Targeting Retirement Savings. This sophisticated trap specifically targets seniors' desire for human connection and financial security by combining fake investment opportunities with elaborate relationship building that can steal your entire retirement savings. These scammers pose as investment advisors, financial planners, or successful business people who offer exclusive investment opportunities that promise high returns with low risk, specifically targeting seniors worried about inflation, rising healthcare costs, or outliving their retirement savings. The Securities and Exchange Commission reports that investment fraud targeting seniors has increased by 300% in recent years, with victims losing an average of $83,000 per scam. These criminals often spend months building personal relationships with their targets, attending social events, joining community organizations, or volunteering at churches and senior centers to gain trust and credibility. They present themselves as successful, knowledgeable, and genuinely interested in helping seniors achieve financial security, often sharing personal stories and offering free financial advice to establish themselves as trustworthy experts. The relationship building phase allows them to learn about their target's financial situations, fears, and goals, while positioning themselves as solutions to retirement security concerns. Dr. Jennifer Walsh, a securities fraud investigator with the SEC, explains that these investment scammers typically offer opportunities not available to the general public, such as pre-IPO stocks, government securities, or exclusive real estate investments that promise returns significantly higher than traditional investments. They use official-looking documents, fake credentials, and references to legitimate financial institutions to add credibility, and they may pay early investors small returns to encourage larger investments and referrals to other potential victims. The investments are typically described as low risk or guaranteed, appealing to seniors who cannot afford to lose retirement savings. The protective solution is to never invest money with anyone who approaches you unsolicited or offers investment opportunities not available through established, regulated financial institutions. Always independently verify the credentials of anyone offering investment advice by checking with regulatory agencies such as the SEC, FINRA, or your state securities department, and never invest based solely on personal relationships or social connections. Require all investment opportunities to be presented in writing with complete documentation, including regulatory filings, audited financial statements, and clear explanations of risks and fees. Clarence from Dallas thought he had found the perfect solution to his retirement income concerns when a charming businessman he met at church offered him an exclusive investment opportunity, promising 12% annual returns with government backing. After investing $45,000 over 6 months, Clarence discovered the man had disappeared and the investment was completely fraudulent. Verify all investment opportunities before risking your savings, because professional scammers are experts at building trust and exploiting your desire for financial security. Financial Trap 5. Home repair and maintenance scams. Door-to-door contractors target seniors living alone with unnecessary and overpriced repairs, often using high-pressure tactics and scare strategies to convince you that your home has dangerous problems requiring immediate expensive solutions. These scammers typically approach homes in senior-heavy neighborhoods, claiming to have noticed problems with your roof, driveway, foundation, or other exterior features while working in the area, or offering leftover materials from nearby jobs at supposedly discounted prices. The Better Business Bureau reports that home improvement scams cost seniors over $5 billion annually, with many victims paying thousands for work that was never needed, never completed, or performed so poorly that it caused additional damage. These criminals use sophisticated psychological tactics to gain entry to your home and convince you to hire them for expensive work, including creating false urgency by claiming problems will worsen quickly if not addressed immediately, offering limited-time discounts that expire the same day, or providing references and credentials that appear legitimate but are actually fake. They frequently target seniors who are recently widowed, live alone, or show signs of cognitive decline, because these individuals are more likely to be confused by technical explanations and less likely to have family members who can provide independent advice. The protective solution is to never hire contractors who approach you unsolicited at your door, regardless of how professional they appear or how urgent they claim the problem is with your home. Always get multiple written estimates from licensed, bonded contractors that you research independently, and never pay for work before it is completed to your satisfaction. Check contractor licenses with your state licensing board, verify insurance coverage directly with insurance companies, and ask for recent local references that you can contact to verify work quality. Vincent from Portland was convinced by a door-to-door contractor that his roof needed immediate repairs, costing $8,000. But when his son insisted on getting a second opinion, a legitimate roofer confirmed the roof was in excellent condition and needed no work. Get multiple quotes before agreeing to any home repairs, because scammers specifically target seniors with fake emergency repairs that are completely unnecessary. Financial Trap 6. Charity and donation. Scams. Fake charities exploit seniors' generous nature and desire to help others by creating emotional appeals for non-existent causes or organizations that keep donations for personal profit rather than using them for charitable purposes. These scammers often target seniors who have a history of charitable giving, using information from donor lists, phone directories, or public records to identify potential victims likely to respond to donation requests. The National Center on Elder Abuse reports that charity fraud targeting seniors has increased by 250% over the past 5 years, with fake charities stealing over $2 billion annually from well-meaning donors. These criminals often use names that sound similar to legitimate, well-known charities, or create entirely fictional organizations that appeal to seniors' concerns about veterans, children, disaster relief, medical research, or religious causes. They typically contact potential victims by phone, mail, or door-to-door visits, using high-pressure tactics and emotional manipulation to encourage immediate donations without giving victims time to research the organization or verify how donations will be used. The appeals often include heartbreaking stories about specific individuals needing help or urgent appeals for disaster relief. The protective solution is to research all charitable organizations thoroughly before donating by checking their ratings with charity watchdog organizations such as Charity Navigator, GuideStar, or the Better Business Bureau's Wise Giving Alliance, and never donate to organizations that contact you unsolicited. Legitimate charities will always be happy to send you written information about their programs and financial reports, and they will never pressure you to donate immediately or insist on specific payment methods that cannot be easily tracked or reversed. Maxine from Miami donated $500 to what she thought was a veterans charity after receiving a heart-wrenching phone call about homeless veterans needing immediate help. But she later discovered the organization was completely fake and her money had been stolen. Research all charities before donating and never give to phone solicitors who pressure you for immediate decisions without providing verifiable information. Financial Trap 7. Tech support and computer scams. Scammers call seniors claiming your computer is infected with viruses or has been hacked, then charge hundreds of dollars for fake repairs while often gaining access to your personal information and financial accounts. These criminals typically contact seniors by phone, claiming to represent major technology companies like Microsoft, Apple, or internet service providers, and they use technical language and fake urgency to convince victims their computers are at serious risk and need immediate professional assistance. The FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center reports that tech support scams targeting seniors have increased by 400% over the past 3 years, with victims losing an average of $1,200 per incident. These scammers often begin calls by claiming they have detected problems with your computer through their monitoring systems, or they may contact you after you've searched online for technical support. They typically ask you to allow them remote access to your computer so they can diagnose and fix supposed problems. But once they gain access, they may install malicious software, steal personal information, access financial accounts, or create fake problems that require additional expensive repairs. The technical demonstrations they provide often involve showing you normal computer files and claiming these are evidence of serious infections. The protective solution is to never allow remote computer access to anyone who contacts you unsolicited, regardless of what company they claim to represent or how urgent they make the supposed computer problems seem. Hang up immediately on anyone who calls claiming your computer has problems, because legitimate tech support only helps with issues that you contact them about first. If you have genuine concerns about your computer's security or performance, contact tech support directly using official phone numbers from the company's official website. Eugene from Sacramento received a call from someone claiming to represent Microsoft who said his computer was sending error messages to their servers and needed immediate repairs to prevent identity theft. After paying $400 for fake repairs and allowing remote access, Eugene discovered unauthorized charges on his credit card and had to spend months resolving identity theft issues. Hang up on all unsolicited tech support calls immediately, because legitimate companies never call customers about computer problems they haven't reported. These 7 financial traps are designed specifically to exploit the natural human needs for connection, security, and trust that become more pronounced as we age. When you recognize romance scams that build fake relationships, Medicare scams that steal your identity, grandparent scams that exploit family love, investment scams that target retirement fears, home repair scams that create false urgency, charity scams that abuse generosity, and tech support scams that use fear and confusion. You're protecting not just your money, but your independence and peace of mind. I want to know which of these financial traps you've encountered or which one concerns you most, and what steps you're going to take to protect yourself and your savings. Leave a comment below sharing your experience or concerns, and if someone you care about needs to know about these dangerous scams targeting seniors, share this video with them right now, because this information could save them thousands of dollars and protect their financial independence.